YouTube transmission and start again. Let's see. Okay, now YouTube should be working. I just have to open the stream to check if it's working fine, and I will get on with working on the game. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is working. And this is also working. Perfect. Well, let's start. Let's go on with the game. Let's see how we left it last time. We'll start the code. It's compiling, of course. And let's see if it's working right now. Okay, the last time we left it with the fireball. It was half coded. The fireball works in theory. It goes in one direction, and if it hits an enemy, it does damage, knockback, and disappears. And statically, well, it isn't great statically, but it's fine enough. So let's see, that seemed to work. Let's try to add a fireball from thinner. If we add here the fireball, it takes its time. Okay, I'm going to pause the game, because between the game processing it, and there it is. Okay, now we should need to change a few parameters in the fireball to make it so that it has a more active effect, so that the knockback is perceptible. Okay, I thought I fixed that last day, but it doesn't seem to work. So let's see. Okay. The knockback is going in reverse, at least with the fireball it is. So yeah, this is correct. The thing is that the fireball, it's acting in reverse way. So we have to know why that is happening. So let's start the code. It has to compile. Okay, the code is compiling there. Okay, you can see that the enemy went in the opposite way. So we have to know why that happens. If I do this, yes, it goes in that direction. It shouldn't really be happening, but it is. Maybe it's because the fireball is triggering the enemy's maybe the fireball is triggering the enemy's raycast. Raycast are those rays that are rendered in the scene mode that they are made to detect the floor. So I think a plausible theory is that the enemy is stops to detect the floor because the fireball touches its raycast. So let's check it. No, it still works in the opposite way. Well, maybe that is because it was bouncy, that wall. So we pause the scene so that the fireball has time to catch on. That wasn't enough distance. We move it here. You can see that the raycast haven't moved yet, but when I unpause, they will get back. You can see here also that the player has these two raycasts to detect the flow. There you go. You see how it goes in the opposite direction? That shouldn't be happening. So why is it happening? Well, I have absolutely no idea. Let's see. The fireball position is working fine in principle at least. The layer of the fireball should be changed in a future maybe, but for now it's really important. The thing is the knockback. What happens if I put negative knockback? That should invert the direction of the knockback and hopefully fix the issue. But I'm not sure, so let's try it out. If that works, I will continue to make so that the player is able to cast those fireballs, because right now it only allows to, okay, you see, there it went to the other side, meaning this time it worked. Of course it failed if it fell to the boy, so now I have to rescue it, because of course, but if we go to friction, this thing, linear damping, let's set it to 1 to have it be more stable. If we go to its linear velocity, let's see, it isn't being knocked back, so now it goes there. Okay, perfect. Now we have to make it so that the player can cast the fireballs. So let's jump to the script and let's see, let's work on the script. That would be done in the player's movement script. No, actually, it should be done in its own script. So let me create a new script. Or maybe I also already did. No, I didn't. So let's create a new script. We'll call it Magic Caster. And let's see. Quote, it's charging. This will take, I don't know how much time. It's now it's charging and it will take some time to charge. Compiling, of course. In the meantime, what can I do in the meantime? Let's check if someone's watching. No, absolutely no one. How great. Let's continue compiling the code. Well, takes its time. Here is the basic player movement. The comments are in Spanish, but the variable names are in English because the code is very well done. This code makes the player be able to move and jump. And we prefer to have a new script for the magic casting system because it will make it easier in the future to check if how it is working and to modify parts. Reloading domain. Huh. This is taking longer than usual. Mental note for next time. But to create the script before. Oh yeah, sorry. If I minimize that, you see the screen in black. Okay, it should be almost done, but it is taking quite longer than it usually does. So let's see. We open. Okay, here we have it. Here you should be seeing the new script. Okay. First, we change fixed update by for fixed update, but we have to also keep an update. This is because we are using the specific function, which is oh yeah, the u should be, and this should be an e. We open here. We use update and fixed object because fixed objects works way better with physics. But you can see here in the attack collider code that input dot get key down doesn't quite work on the fixed update because it only checks on the update. So if you press only during a frame and fixed update is checked 3 times while update is checked once, even if you only press it during one fixed update, it will be executed 3 times. And that is not great. So let's start. The first thing we have to do is create 4 arrays. An array is a kind of actually 4. No, actually not. We should create first 3 public because this will be modified in the future. Ints, one to each one to hold a value for each magic type. First, we have up. That's very simple. Public int down, left, and right. Okay. Now we have to each time. Okay, each time we get input dot get key down and left, for example. Excuse me. Oh yes. One parenthesis is and shift because if we just get the direction, it would be used to slash normal slash attack. But if you add shift to it, it will turn into a magic attack. Okay, then shift. And no, actually key down, no. Input dot get key alone in this case. Sorry. Yes, get key. This is because input dot get key down only executes the first frame that the button is pressed. And in this case, because the shift has to be detected even if the button continues to be pressed, we need it to be so that the here is get key. I'm not sure if it is shift or left shift. I think should be left shift, but we'll check later. So if both those are and also it isn't pressing any other, so also not input dot get key down. It has to have stop pressing right. Oh, but not only right. Huh. No, well, but because it's get key down, that will only be a problem if we press multiple of them at the same time, and if you do that, your fault. This could be easily fixed in the future, so it doesn't really matter. So let's go. If it is, then we have a switch, which is like an if, but for multiple conditions. So we get switch up. Actually, I think this should be between parentheses. We say this, and we put case 1, for example. Excuse me, case 1. We create a function for case 1 that we will call void fireball, for example. And for example, let's create a syntax for this. Well, first of all, let's finish this. This calls fireball. And we have a break statement. And of course, this has to go with this. and this to end there. Okay, now each time up is pressed, no, excuse me, left should be, each time left plus shift is pressed, the code will check the variable left, and if its value is 1, meaning you have the first spell equipped, then Fireball will then Fireball will proceed to call the function Fireball. What does Fireball do? Well, it instantiates an object. For that, we have to have here the thingy. Now, the thing is that ideally we should have it be an array, because we will need to have a load of spells. So we have an array with all the spells. So let's do that. How do you declare an array in Unity? Well, Unity uses C#, but an array, in this case, it's going to be public, private. That is a very important part. But you just declared how you declare an array in most languages. In this case, public, because I need it to be public. Game object, because the value it's going to hold are game objects. You open and close those squarey thingies, and then you put a name in this case spell. Now once that's done, this, for example, will instantiate spell 1. And a very important part, this will instantiate spell 1, but we have to give it a direction to go on. So it will instantiate spell 1 at the position of the game object, of course, like this. But we need to also put its rotation. Now that's trickier because Unity uses quaternion instead of normal rotation. But quaternions aren't that hard if you understand them correctly. But I don't, so an easier way is just to use the two quaternion functions. So we declare the rotation, so we say this. No, we say vector. No, Euler's angle. How it works? Okay, no, yeah, we say vector 3 because this is going to indicate 3 values, and we put, well, of course, we close the parentheses, and in this case, because it was left, the rotation is just 0, 0, 0. And we have to indicate, vector 3, new vector 3, period, no, period, excuse me. Yes, dot no, excuse me. You have to put Euler's angle, quaternion dot Euler angle, and this takes 3 inputs, in this case 0, 0, 0, and turns them to quaternion angles. Unity quaternion Euler, okay, Unity recommends to use quaternion Euler instead of quaternion Euler angles, because it prefers it so we are not going to debate Unity on this. So let's continue. Now the code is compiling. There you go. And well, it's compiling. There you go, compiling. Let's see. Now we have to assign once this loads. Okay, here. Now we have the player. We have to put the script into the player and assign a few values. First, let's say it has equipped each basic man. Because this is empty, this would be element 0. That's a problem because I've put fireball on element 1, but that shouldn't be a problem. We just create two things and let the value, the element 1 0 unassigned and element 1 here. Now we save the code, and I think we're going to have to change a few things into the code, maybe. I have to check. Let me check how do you get shift in Unity, and I'm not sure if key input dot get key works. So let's look it up. Always the best option to know how to code. You look it up on the internet, and there you get all your code. Okay, you have to use key code left shift. Okay, I can do that. We change this for this. Save. Now the code should be compiling right now. Let's see. The code is compiling. You cannot see it, but it is. I've been practicing recently that trick. I don't quite get it. Oh, here it is. It starts. Here it is. Compiled. Well, after that change, and with this assigned, this should work in theory, but we are not sure at all. So let's see. If I press left shift once the game executes, if I press left shift plus any of the directional arrows, it should fire a fireball. Ironic. Here you have it. It fires. The only problem is it is firing against the player. We have to add here you can see it. It collides against the player. So that is changed by changing the layer of this. We add a new layer which is magic, and we assign the fireball the layer magic. Now yes, its children also have to be on the same layer. Now we go to edit. Sorry, we go to yes, edit project settings, and here we have the panel which shows what layers interact with what other layers. So magic should only interact, at least for starters, it should interact with everything, but it should only with everything except the player, of course, because it doesn't really make sense that the magic is detecting other player. So with that change, let's see. Here it is. We execute the code and check if it works. So let's hope it does. As I was saying, I've been practicing the trick of passing the cards like this. I just don't do it very well. And it's starting to hurt my thumb a lot, doing that trick a lot. So let's see. We left shift. Here you go. It fires. The fireball isn't rotated correctly. That's a problem. But no, actually, fireball is what isn't is the particles. But well, that works. Of course, and now we have to add a cooldown because right now you can do this, and that doesn't really make sense. But we have to add a lifetime limit because if not, the fireball will continue to go on forever. So let's do those things. So first off, we have to add a cooldown. That is done pretty easily. We just need a private float called counter. Private, actually, you don't have to indicate. Float counter, and this float will count down, and each time you cast a spell, it should actually, yes, each kind of spell could give you a different cooldown. So let's see how we do this. Okay, should the cooldown be dependent on the spell? Yes. That no, yes, this okay. Yes, here. Each time when you cast the spell, the cooldown starts. Actually, do we need a cooldown? This game is going to have a mana system to limit the amount of fireballs you can, well, not only fireballs, the amount of magics you can cast. So is it really necessary to have a cooldown? I don't think so. I do think that if you have a magic system, excuse me, a mana system, no, actually a cooldown will be necessary. Because even if you have a mana system just because of animations, and it's fine to have always more interaction. So let's say this becomes 2, and each frame the game is going to, if cooldown it's excuse me, cooldown, no, counter, it's above 0, the game is going to take counter and subtract the time that has passed from the last frame, which is called time dot delta time, and that time dot fixed delta time in the case that you are using fixed update. So let's go. Okay, and what else does the code need? Also make it so that it cannot um, attack if counter it hasn't passed. Counter above equal 0. And finally, what else do we need here? Well, we could copy this code for all the directional magics, but that details, I will do it in a moment. And of course, the code needs tons of magics, part of a fireball. First of all, not all magics are balls, And second, you need multiple magics depending of the zones, and they have different effects. But all of that will be slowly added later. This what we are working right now on is like the skeleton of the game. We're working on the basic game. So let's go to here, to this scene, and now that the code has compiled, we check if it works. Let's see, we execute the code and let's check if it works. It takes its time, of course, to charge. Well, as I was saying, the trick with the cards, I don't know, you weren't seeing it right there before, but the thing is to do this. Here in this part of my thumb, it's starting to hurt from doing it so much. Okay, the code has compiled. So now we can do this, and it doesn't let me attack again. So why is this happening? Counter isn't a public variable, as and thus we cannot check here. Okay, I should check the inventory code that my friend made, so to see how it implements. Here it is. Okay, header unlocked all abilities. Okay, this. Huh. Okay. Huh. He made it a bit strange. Okay, this adds abilities, of course, but okay, equip lower ability. Okay, this adds a lower ability. What? Okay, this adds the unlocked abilities to the inventory, and this checks if the ability is unlocked. Okay, this does the same. Okay, for upper and lower abilities. Upper and lower? Upper and lower. Huh. Not all abilities are done like that. Okay. Have an inventory. We have that. Perfect. But the problem, okay, this code just keep lower ability slot. What ability? Okay. This is done in an interesting way. First, he used list instead of arrays, but okay, that's not the biggest problem in the world. So this code has a function that that unlocks a new ability, lower and an upper ability, and this function that equips an ability to the inventory. Okay, that isn't a really strange way to do things, but it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, yeah, why is this made like this? Oh, yes, because we had that other thing thought of. Well, I'm not really sure what he did here, but it shouldn't be too difficult to make. Oh no, because this is for abilities, not for magic. So magic caster works in a different way. Okay, so now what else do we have to do? This should be working. And oh yeah, no. Okay, this should be below, not above. That was the problem. Now let's see. Uh, let's see. Fireball, okay. If counter, yes. Yeah. Fireball, yes. Okay. we should add a lifetime to the magics, but that goes in the magic system, and that goes more on another tab. So let's copy this part of code and let's add all the directional magics. Of course, shooting down right now doesn't really make that much sense, but it doesn't matter for now. Left, right, which in this case casts fireball. Okay, fireball should have a directional first, int direction, to be able to choose the direction, and here it direction should go. So now this does 0. Let's I'm not sure. Oh, sorry about that. 0, 90, 180. No, excuse me. This is 180, and this is 90 because it's up. Excuse me. And let's see. That's 0. That's 90. Okay. Wait. Sorry, you weren't seeing the code. Fuck. Sorry about those few minutes ago. Um. Fuck. Okay. Sorry. You weren't seeing the code. That's terrible. Fireball. Now this is 180 here. No, 180. No, this is 0, 0, 90, 180, 270. And let's check if this works. Oh no, it will not work because the magic part works with linear velocity. Linear velocity, it's not dependent of the... Okay, that should be easy to fix just with a quick transform. Dot translate this tier in this transform case is lowercase, so well, why isn't this transform? Okay, but this one, this T is uppercase. 0, 0, 0, and we change this 0 for speed. Now let's hope for the best, I guess. We don't have anything else to do. Sorry, the code is compiling. Oh, sorry, you are not seeing it. Here you go. The code is compiling. Let's see. Who was this? Why did I ban her? Who the fuck was her? Well, okay. Sorry about that. I was looking up something about the someone I banned. suppose I banned years ago, but I don't really remember doing. Okay, let's get back to it. Has the code compiled? Yes. Now let's check if this works. I have zero guarantees that this will work. I hope so. This code is built on my dreams exclusively. Let's check. Well, first off, fireable. Oh yeah, the speed. Oh my god, the speed is absurd. This has to be multiplied by. Oh, please. This has to be multiplied by time dot fixed delta time. Okay. Now the code is. Excuse me. Now the code is compiling again, of course. Let's see. Does this work? Yes. Does this work? Yes. Okay, everything's fine. So let's see. We execute the code now that it has compiled. And let's hope for the best, I guess. Oh. And let's see if I'm the audio quality. Okay, it works. Let's see. Now, if I cast a fire, okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, that works. The only problem is that